Hello everyone and welcome back to kind of the first real video of this Scrapy tutorial series. So I hope all of you are doing fine in your homes while this lockdown situation is going on. And a side note here, in the previous video I showed you how I scraped Amazon.com, and it was just a demo, nothing special. But actually what happened was you saw that except title everything else was null and kind of not available, and that was because if you go on amazon.in right now, you will see that they have all the products saying currently unavailable because of the lockdown situation going on. I think I'm sorry about that. I just want to say that if you have any questions, any at all, just post them in the comments below and I'll make sure to answer them at the end of each video. Without any further ado, let's go right into it. So we have to create a new project, and I just want to say that if you have PyCharm, I recommend using it because it is very good for Python development, and I use it personally because I like it and all of its features are just awesome. And if you don't want to use it, that's fine. I understand that you like your favorite editor or IDE, so I'll show how to do something like that with those as well. And okay, so let's do it. I'm going to create a project and I'm going to say PyCharm projects slash, and then let's name our project Scrapy. You name yours whatever you want. Okay, so it's gonna take some time to just do all of this that we can do manually, but that's why I like PyCharm. Okay, PyCharm has created the project folder. Now what we have to do is just add Scrapy. Okay, so I had to pause the recording because my PyCharm was just not doing something good and I had to fix it. I just changed this interpreter and it got fixed. Next we need to add on this add symbol, and you probably won't have the error that I had because it was my mistake. We have to search for Scrapy in this search bar, and then we have to select it and hit install package. This will install the package, and I just want to say that it will take some time because Scrapy is a big framework and it has a lot of packages to install. Okay, so after it's installed, we need to close it. Close this, and then this nice little terminal option down here, we have to go on it and you can see the notification. Okay, so now what we need to do is we need to do Scrapy start project, and then the name of our project, which I'm going to say tutorial scraper, and then it's done. You can see the output, it says you can start your first spider. Now if you go here, just reload it real quick, and you can see we have a folder. Go into it and another nested folder, and then we have a lot of files in here, and we have more files in here. Now I'll tell you what all these files are and what do they serve in the next video, but now I need to show you how to do all of this that I just did. If you don't have PyCharm, just minimize it, and then what I'm going to do is I'm going to go into my desktop. I'm going to create a folder and I'm going to name it Scrapy like we did earlier with PyCharm. And now in here we have to go in here, and now we have to open up a terminal. Now after we have opened up this terminal, now what we need to do is we need to create a virtual environment so that we can isolate all our Scrapy packages from the rest of the system environment. Okay, so first of all we need to install virtual env, which is just a Python package which will help us do this. So I'll say pip3 install virtual env. Now hit enter. Now you need to note that I have both the Python 2 and Python 3. That's why I'm doing pip3 and not pip. But if you're Windows or Mac, you might only have one version of Python installed, so you might want to do pip instead of pip3. Now that we have it, let me clear the screen, and now what we need to do is we need to say python 3 and virtual env, and then the name of our virtual env. Now I'm going to say when, like we did earlier, and hit enter. And now as soon as I did that, we have a folder in here called well. you can see that I'm again doing Python 3. Now again, if you don't have both Python 2 and Python 3, you might not want to do this. Let's create it again. Now the next process is not the same on Linux and on Windows. Since I'm on Linux, let me first show you how to do this on Linux. So to do this on Linux, you need to say source, then the name of your virtual environment, which in our case is when, then forward slash, and then bin, and then forward slash, and then activate. This will activate the environment. And let me clear the screen, and you can see as soon as I did that, we have this thing which tells us that we are in a virtual environment called venv. Now if you're on Windows, you might want to do something like venv backward slash scripts and then backward slash activate. Now since I'm not on Windows, I won't show that. Now for the last step, this is same on Windows and on Linux and Mac. I don't use Mac though. Now we have to say Scrapy start project, just like we did earlier. And now we will say the name of our project, which is tutorial scraper. Okay, so one step I forgot is that we haven't yet installed Scrapy, so we need to say pip3 install Scrapy. Now again, you would do pip if you don't have both the versions of Python. Now hit enter and it has started installing the packages. It's gonna take some time. Okay, so now that it's done, let me clear the screen again, and then at last we have to create our project, and hopefully it won't fail this time. So I have to say Scrapy start project tutorial scraper. Okay, so we have the same output. You can start your first spider. Now let me clear the screen and let me close the terminal, and we can see that we have another folder, tutorial scraper. If we go into it, now let me show you the project structure. So I would say I'd open up a terminal, and then I have a command line utility called tree. So I'll say tree and then dot. You can see that we have this scrapy.cfg, then we have another folder, and then in here we have all the files like we did earlier with PyCharm. As soon as you have this output right over here, you're good to go for the next tutorial. One last thing I would like to say, and that is, please share this tutorial with other people who might be looking to do some web scraping, because I want to help as many people as possible. And don't forget to subscribe. See you in the next video.